Hi, I'm Roberto, historian at Oysters Menorca. Behind the beach of Cala en Porte, hidden between walls of limestone that rise 40 meters from the ground, lies one of the most fertile and human places in all of Menorca. A ravine that has been farmed for thousands of years, a place where men and women worked the land from dawn to dusk, grew fruit trees, planted rice, and carried their harvest through the night on donkey carts to sell at the market in Ciutadella. This is the story of the Barranco de Cala en Porte and the people who brought it to life. The Barranco de Cala en Porte is the second longest ravine in Menorca, after the Alhendar. For centuries, it has been one of the most privileged agricultural spaces on the entire island. Why here? Why this ravine? The microclimate of these geological formations makes ravines especially suited to certain crops, sheltered from the winds that batter the upper plains and the northern coast of the island, and blessed with the constant presence of water. Water that flows year-round through the floor of the ravine, feeding the roots of everything that grows here. Searching through archives and ancient documents, we can glimpse life in the most remote past of the ravine, with prehistoric settlements, springs, watermills, water wheels, and ancient paths carved by people who understood 3,000 years ago that this place was extraordinary. Generation after generation, century after century. Prehistoric, Roman, Arab, Catalan. Each civilization found the same thing in this ravine: fertile soil, abundant water, shelter from the wind. Each one farmed it. Each one left something behind. But the people who truly defined this ravine are the Hortolans, the gardeners, the men and women who, from the 18th century through to the mid-20th century, worked every inch of this land with their bare hands. They dug the orchards from top to bottom, irrigated the land through sandstone channels, and carried fruit in long wicker baskets. And when the harvest was ready, something extraordinary happened. Every night, the farmers of the Barranco would load their donkeys and their carts, piled high with fruit, and set off in the darkness towards Ciutadella to sell their produce at the market. The journey was long, the roads were rough, and the farmers, exhausted from a full day of working the land, would climb on top of the cart, lie down among the fruit, and fall asleep. Because the donkeys knew the way. They had walked that road so many times, through the darkness, through the cold, through the silence of the Menorcan countryside, that they had memorized every turn, every slope, every stone. The farmer slept, and the donkey walked on alone, hour after hour, all the way to Ciutadella. Think about that image: a sleeping farmer on a cart loaded with fruit, a donkey walking through the night, alone and unhurried, carrying the harvest of the ravine toward the city lights. No GPS, no road signs, just memory and trust and the long road to market. This was not a hobby. This was a life. These terrains sheltered until the mid-20th century numerous plantations of fruit trees and even the growing of rice. Rice in Menorca. The constant flow of water through the floor of the ravine made it possible. The arrocers, the rice growers, worked the wettest, lowest parts of the Barranco, flooding small paddies fed by the stream. Exhausting, meticulous work. And it fed the island. 3 families above all others left their mark on this ravine. Inside the ravine there are 7 orchards known as the Hortolans de Escuela, named after the Escuela family, who once owned this land. 7 gardens, each one watered by the same stream that has been flowing here for thousands of years. Within those orchards grow pecan trees, originally from Mexico, the only specimens of their kind on the entire island, officially declared singular trees by the Balearic government. Nobody knows exactly who brought them here or when, but someone in the Escuela family planted them, and they are still standing today, outliving every generation that tended them.
The second family are the Fortuny.
Generations of the Fortuny family have worked their orchards in this ravine, keeping the tradition of the Hortolans alive through decades of change and modernization. While the rest of the island moved on, the Fortuny family stayed. They kept digging, kept planting, kept harvesting, a living link between the ancient world of the Barranco and the present day.
And the third are the Carreras.
Still here today, tending their orchards, working the same land their ancestors worked, carrying forward a tradition that most of Menorca has forgotten. 3 families, 3 legacies, three unbroken threads connecting the ancient Hortolans to the present day. The lack of generational succession became one of the main threats to farming in this ravine. The ancient knowledge of how to irrigate through sandstone channels, how to read the water, how to harvest at the right moment, all of it began to slowly disappear. Parts of the ravine fell silent. Terraces were abandoned. Stone walls collapsed. Fruit trees, unpruned and untended, grew wild. And this extraordinary place, one of the oldest continuously farmed landscapes in Menorca, began to disappear under the weight of its own neglect. But the story of this ravine does not end there. Because in recent years, something remarkable has begun to happen. New families have arrived, from Egypt, from Barcelona, from places with no connection to Menorca or its agricultural traditions. People who saw what this place once was and could not bear to let it disappear. They came to a ravine that had been abandoned. Overgrown terraces, collapsed stone walls, fruit trees choked by weeds. And instead of turning away, they rolled up their sleeves and got to work, clearing the land by hand, restoring ancient stone terraces wall by wall, replanting fruit trees, reopening the water channels. And alongside them, Barranco, a company born from a deep love for this landscape, has taken over the management of the fruit orchards of the legendary Casa Ciutadella too. The same trees, the same soil, the same water channels built by the Ciutadella family generations ago, now tended with organic, sustainable methods, with the same respect for the land that the original Hortolans always carried. And then there is Ignacy Capó, a young farmer who arrived at the Barranco de Cala en Porte after years of working the land across Menorca, surviving even the devastating DAHNR storm of August 2024 that tore through his farm. He settled at the highest point of the ravine, in an orchard called the Hort de Mata Dohnes. The name means the place that exhausted the women, because long before running water existed, it was the women of the ravine who climbed to the top every single day, loaded with clay jugs on their shoulders, to collect water from the only well that supplied the entire community. The name of this orchard is a monument to their effort. Today, Ignacy farms that same land, growing organic seasonal fruit with deep respect for the soil and the seasons. Salute y terra, health and earth. The Barranco de Cala en Porte has always attracted people who recognized something rare. 3,000 years ago, prehistoric farmers saw fertile soil and clean water. The Hortolans saw a place where hard work could feed a family and an entire island. The Ciutadella, the Fortuny and the Carreras families saw a legacy worth protecting. Barranco and new families from across the world are now restoring what had been lost. And Ignacy Capó climbed to the top of the ravine to farm the land where women once carried water on their shoulders. Different people, different times, the same ravine, the same conviction that this place is worth everything. The ravine is alive again, and its story is still being written. Subscribe to the channel. Menorca has more stories than you can imagine, and we are only just beginning.